Everybody, we have a lot of news to discuss about the fourth stimulus check and Social Security benefits. We have a lot of news, guys, that you have to know. Continue watching this because you definitely don't want to miss out on this important information. Now, Congress and Mitch McConnell are urging the colleagues to not delay the message in the approval of the debt ceiling deal. Now, if you guys are receiving SNAP benefits, you likely will see a change to your monthly benefits, as lawmakers have agreed to new work requirements. And Mitch McConnell is calling on the Senate colleagues not to drag out the consideration of the debt limit deal. It could be delayed past the June 5 deadline if senators use every procedural tool available to slow it down. Now, Senator McConnell did applaud Kevin McCarthy for winning the significant concessions from Joe Biden, including a cut in non-defense discretionary spending, a recession in funding for the IRS, and new work requirements for federal assistance programs. McConnell sent a statement: the Senate must act swiftly and pass this agreement without any unnecessary delay. Several conservatives, including Chip Roy, are criticizing the deal, said it pretty much rubs Americans off. But folks, on Sunday, they have threatened to round up enough Republicans to stop it from passing the House. And if this happens, well, bad things will happen in America. Because McConnell also highlighted the energy permitting reforms. What I mean by this is that some Republicans get stimulus checks and some cannot. But Roy on Sunday threatened to round up enough Republicans to stop it. Under the House rules, lawmakers must have 72 hours to read the bill. And since they received it on Sunday, Wednesday is the earliest day the House can vote. McCarthy wants the House to pass the bill as soon as possible, but lawmakers could drag the Senate debate until June 5 deadline. And opposing lawmakers will come under heavy pressure from colleagues to not risk a federal default and technically a default by throwing up procedural obstacles to a bill that appears to have strong bipartisan support. Both Republicans and Democrats are expected to lose some votes, and leaders on both sides have been telling the rank and file that neither side want everything it wanted. Experts warned that the federal government defaults on its debt, it will likely cause interest rates to rise and create some turmoil throughout the economy. Joe Biden also said he expects the deal to pass the House this week. Now, it's unclear how the modifications would affect the overall number of food stamp beneficiaries, or how much money, if any, the federal government would save the government. But as part of the agreement, able-bodied adults who are younger than 54 years old and do not have children must work or participate in a training program for at least 80 hours a month just to receive the food stamps or for extended periods of time. And the debt ceiling deal also requires the Agriculture Department to make the public applications the states submit to waive work requirements for areas with high unemployment and reduce the shares of people that a state can exempt. Folks, it's definitely possible for Joe Biden to do more for the American people and send out stimulus checks. But tell me in the comments down below, do you believe this will happen? We have a ton of news about the fourth stimulus check, Social Security benefits, SSI, and SSDI. Joe Biden can be sending out the fourth stimulus check in 2023, and we're ready for him to do so. First of all, new progress is being made on the latest relief proposals. Legislators in the state of Minnesota have just proposed a release detail. The good news is that the plan includes cash back to Minnesota residents, and representatives have even said that the bill makes the largest tax cut in Minnesota's history. But these just aren't any tax cuts. The cuts in this bill are targeted to those who need it the most. The proposal mostly benefits the low-income and middle-income people. This proposal has several provisions as well, including a one-time rebate check of $275 per taxpayer, plus more for up to 3 dependents. It means a family of 5 could live and see $1,300 if they make less than $75,000 a year as a single filer, or $150,000 as a married couple filing jointly. Now, the bill stops short of a full exemption of Social Security income from state tax for all the seniors, which is a top Republican priority that several Democrats in the Senate also said they support. According to the Minnesota Department of Revenue, half the filers don't pay taxes on Social Security right now, but these changes mean that 76% of seniors would pay no taxes on those benefits. There's also a $100 million boost to state aid to cities and counties so communities can provide some public services without levying huge property tax increases. The proposal includes credits and rebates, but also new tax changes to bring in more revenue on an ongoing basis since most of the budget surplus is one-time money. It creates a fifth income tax bracket of 10% for married couples making more than $1 million a year and individuals making $600,000. The current highest tax bracket is 9.85%. The stimulus checks and other types of crisis era relief greatly impact the economy. and Congress has already created trillions of dollars into the economy, helping Americans cover some of their basic living expenses. And also pay down debt, because according to experts, the same theory should apply to the Biden administration's student loan forgiveness plan. Some people have their debt wiped out, while others will believe for their lower monthly student loan payments. The amount of student loan debt in the United States has reached a staggering $1.76 trillion, as according to the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. Most students now take out student loans to attend college, with the average student graduating with $29,000 in debt. That means many students graduate with even more debt, which can make it more difficult to keep up with student loan payments while paying for everyday necessities. After its announcement last August, the Supreme Court has blocked Biden's plan to forgive up to $20,000 in federal student loan debt. Until a final decision is made, everyone with student loan debt is going to remain in limbo. If the plan passes, the White House estimates the program will provide aid to over 43 million borrowers, and an estimated 20 million borrowers will see their remaining debt balance canceled. Nearly 90% of debt cancellation will actually go to borrowers earning under $75,000 a year. Analysts have already noted that the Biden's plan includes provisions to cap monthly payments for undergrad loans to 5% of the borrower's discretionary income. And this could help so many people gain more stimulus checks, everybody, in 2023. The IRS has released some very important announcements. Millions of you guys can expect to receive some bonus relief payments this month.
And by the way, there are a lot of jobs coming to people that you're going to need to train up people, thanks to the bipartisan infrastructure bill. Everybody knew and you heard from my secretary a little bit earlier, America's falling behind in infrastructure.
But there is a deadline. Taxpayers have just a few weeks left to claim this money. And so, here is some big news. The IRS is sending refunds to more than 1 million Americans who filed their taxes late in the early days of the crisis. But there is a new deadline. The agency has announced that taxpayers have until September 30th to take advantage of this new relief. Typically, people who file their taxes late without requesting an extension can expect to pay penalties of up to 25% of the amount of taxes that they owe. For 2019 and 2020, however, the agency is suspending taxes or the penalty for those taxes for late filers. Taxpayers who have already paid a fine will automatically be given refunds, the IRS said. And more than 1.6 million people are set to receive refunds or credits totaling $1 billion. This is an average of $700 per person. Although some of you guys may get more and some may get less. The IRS said taxpayers who have already filed their returns don't need to do anything. If you've been notified of a fine but have not yet paid it, the penalty will be erased, and while those who have already paid the penalty will receive a refund or credit, most of the refunds will be delivered by the end of this month. So that's some good news to look forward to. And according to the IRS, taxpayers who have yet to file returns for 2019 and 2020 can still have penalties forgiven, as long as their returns are